Just found this train track. That was pretty cool. Didn't really plan on finding it like that, but that's how things go. Seems like not many things get planned. Uh, you can plan your life. I feel like there's times where I thought my whole life was planned. That puppy was far from it. That thing was whatever the opposite of planned is. Everything just got absolutely just RKO'd. But then, I'm not really at the end of the story, but I feel like it'd be pretty cool if it gets turned around. I think it will. I believe it will. It'll probably be better than it would have been. It will be better. Because if the other way was the better option, then it would have happened. And the only reason I can believe that is because of God, the finisher of our faith, the everlasting Father, knowing that He loves us enough. David said, I would have lost hope unless I would have believed that I would have seen God in the land of the living. Ooh, I'm hoping like David. I'm believing. I don't know. I have no clue, actually. I don't even. It's almost like you don't even. Sometimes you don't know so much, you almost don't even know what to believe for. But you just know you gotta believe. And that's where I think I'm at. With the track record that, speaking of, little train coming out. It's like track record, no pun intended, of the recent years. Even the stuff that I don't even know. Even the semi-planned, like the Plan B stuff, that wouldn't even worked. But that's pretty cool though, because man, that would be so boring if everything was figured out. Even though right now I'd be like, hey, let's get a little organization in here, you know. But um, if you knew every single, well, two things. If you knew the outcome of everything, man, that would be a boring life. But also, you wouldn't even have to trust in God. There'd be no point in faith. We wouldn't even need Him. And then we wouldn't have a relationship with Him. And then we just live to die. That's one way you can easily get caught up in. And I feel like a lot of people even live to die, but also in fear, living in fear of dying. They can't even live to die. They're just living in fear of everything. And obviously, I'm no stranger to fear. You know the rules, and so do I. But the Lord is slowly helping me overcome. Fear is so, it literally changes every step. If you let it, it is the number one way to ruin your life because you'll never do anything. And that's not even just affecting you. Think about, it's easy to get selfish and think, oh, I won't even become anything. I won't blah blah blah. But it's even bigger than that. It's think about what'll happen if you don't even become who God made you to be. If you don't step into who and who He made you to be and the people that you're supposed to influence and inspire and love. It's a lot more than just us. And that's what, man, we need to take a step back. It's so easy to get caught up in our own track. You get so zoomed in on the situation. Literally, like, I'm just like a camera zoomed. I'm so in focus, so zoomed in on this one little thing. It's almost like God puts his hand on your shoulders, like, hold on, take a step back, and it slowly you zoom out. I feel like that's literally a picture of anxiety. You zoom all the way in. You're looking at the the problem for not for what it is, but what it looks like. You're looking at it and you can only see problem. In your little viewfinder, like in binoculars, if you're all the way in, there's no anything around it. You can't even see the border. All you can see is problem. And whenever all you can see is problem, it doesn't matter who anyone is, you're freaking out. You are spiraling. There's no amount of willpower and boldness that beats when you can only see problem. But whenever, instead of looking down at the magnifying glass that is blowing up the problem, and you look around at God, then it slowly starts zooming out. And not to say that that problem's there, but there's more than that, just that problem now. There's the people around you, there's family, there's nature, there's the calling that, and in all that, there's the calling that God called you to do. And even whenever you zoom back in on accident because we try to take control, we grab the binoculars from God, say, let me take a look, and then all we're looking at is the problem again. He's still there waiting. And we know, in the back of our minds, we know what we need to do. And zoom back out and be like, okay, God's still here waiting. And in that, God, then the strength and boldness comes. Looking to Christ, then, even when the problem is so big, we can know He's there in that. And whenever He's in there, whenever He's in your life, in your actions, your midst, your mind, yeah, on the surface there's a problem. And even everybody around you could say, oh my goodness, look at your problem. Oh, dude, why aren't you freaking out? Dude, this problem is, dude, if you just turn around right now, that problem is ready to sack you, man. Well, no, it's not. They can't see it. They can't see God. They can't see the peace that surpasses all understanding through that. They can't see the man or woman that God, by His Spirit, is molding you to become. Stronger. We have not been given a spirit of fear, but of peace, power, love, and a sound mind. We've also been given peace too. And then, whenever your people around you can say, oh my goodness, they might look at you versus your problem and you're winning, but they don't know that it's not you winning. They know. And that's where we come in. That's where we say, you know what? You know about my problem. You know all that I'm going through. But look, I'm not perfect, but God is slowly changing me from one degree of glory to another. And you know, look, on the surface, the cover of this book, it looks pretty hard. But you might be wondering why. I'm not freaking out when before I may have, or I'm not spiraling or taking it out on others, or who knows what other fleshly reaction. Well, then you tell them about God. Then you tell them about Jesus, how he died on the cross for their sins, and not even just so he can go to heaven, but to do his work here on earth and to pour into those people. And then it spreads. And then they say, you know what, my friend told me about this. I'm going to try that. And then they turn to God, and the spirit of peace comes over them. And then it's just wildfire. And it starts with one person. Because we're all a network. That's what I'm going to steal this from. Not steal, stealing is wrong. But I'm going to utilize this from somebody I heard that pretty much talking about how we are networks, which is obvious. Ants are networking creatures, but almost if you think about us as ants in a way, but cooler and not little and living in mounds. But if you look at the people that you know, say we know 500 people, which we could know a lot more or a lot less, but on average a person. And then we talk to one person and we change the way they think. We introduce them to Christ. They see Christ's images through us, through the way we act, speak, and how we conduct ourselves in so many different miniature situations. And that person now, we just unlocked 500 more people. And maybe we're not going to be able to personally talk to them, but if we talk to that person too, and they completely change, and by the power of the blood of the Lamb, that they are overcomers, now they have their 500, and then it absolutely just keeps compounding, and it literally just starts with that one person. And for the vast majority, it's not up to us to save or to literally change the hearts and minds of people, but we can point them in the direction, and we leave the result up to God. And if the result's up to God, well, we know what he wants. People have their own choice, their own free will. They can easily say, you know what, God, I don't want this. I will do whatever I want. And God will say, okay, because he loves them that much, which is crazy. You would think that he would force everyone to do this, but that's not what they want to do. They choose to not go to God, and they choose to be zoomed in on the problem, and there's no one behind them to help them out. And that's their choice, and it's a sad choice. But all we can do is scatter the seed. And God is the God of the harvest. He's the God of, he makes the seed grow. And what a joy it is whenever a soul comes back to Christ. So, man, we just got to pray that we can be a light to people, that our actions would conductor trains. Our actions would reflect the actions of Christ, and that our little network of people and their little networks of people, it all begins with our relationship with Christ, and then we can share it with the other people, and then they can share it with the other people. And then hopefully eventually we have a whole bunch of people and we all get together and love each other in Christ, and it's great. And then even when we go through bad things, we can lean on each other, and even through that, that's witnessing. So kind of back to the very first point, these tough times aren't not tough. It's not that we have just gained emotionlessness through Christ, but we have self-control over emotions. We definitely can choose. We can choose whether to slip into the mindset of loss and even feeling sorry for yourself in situation. And it's hard. But whenever we realize that we have everything we need in Christ, then we can look up to Him and say, if I have everything we need, then this situation must be perfectly orchestrated by you. We might think we need just one more person helping us out, or a few more dollars at the end of the month. But God is the provider. He gives us everything that we need. And so if we don't have it, then we must not need it, at least for right now. So keep praying. Submit your plans to the Lord, and your thoughts will be established. I think I mixed up 2 verses there. Um, it's complicated, but it's not. We complicate it. But thank God that He's with us through every step of the way. And man, even though we don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, even though at the end of these train tracks I can't see the end of these train tracks, but I know there's the end, and I know who's driving the train. And man, don't pull the train off course because you're not the conductor. So Lord, just help us to come closer to you, to trust in you and everything. And even though we have no clue what tomorrow even brings, I've had no clue. I don't know. You think you have every single thing planned, and even when you think you have, all right, my life is in jumbles. Well, I at least have 10% of this figured out. Nah, nah. So, man, that looks so beautiful down there. Sufficient for today is today's troubles. Do what we can today. Man, just how bad things can come out of absolutely nowhere and just blindside you. Why can't good things? God's a good father. He knows every hair on our head. He cares so much that even when a sparrow falls in the forest, He knows. If He cares so much about in the Bible, a 1 cent bird, a bird that would cost 1 penny back then, how much more does He care for us? And if we know that the God who created all of this, is the God of the universe, and He created all of this, this little area is massive. It's pretty cool, actually. This is a great spot. He created all this, but He cares about me, this little speck in the middle of this little railway. Man, why don't we think that deliverance is for now? Why can't we think that tomorrow is a new day? And even if the situation doesn't change, our mindsets can. And our influence can. We can reach out to more people. And even if it's not more people, what about the people that are already right here? Man, I need to hear that. Man, the people that we already got, what are we doing with? Be a light. Be a reflection of Christ. And let's keep in touch.